What's going on, guys? Welcome to Soniq Sounds, and today we are going to talk about two plugins from Softube that are mimicking some awesome analog gear. So today we are going to talk about Softube's Empirical Labs Lil FrEQ EQ and mic compressor. Now these are staple analog plugins that everyone loves using in the studios, specifically on drums, vocals, guitars, and basses. They just add an element of warmth to the track. Let's jump into Logic Pro and see how these plugins change the way the vocal sits and the tone of the vocal changes inside the track when you engage these plugins. Really quickly, if you're new here, this is Soniq Sounds. We talk about music, gear, music making, music production. So if you like the content you're seeing, make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe, and let's go. All right, so let's jump into Logic Pro. This is a track I recently released called Moving On. As you can see, these are all the vocal tracks. I use the vocals from Splice. So let's listen to this particular audio as it is in the track. Let me actually play a little bit of the track for you so you get an idea of what the track sounds like.
I don't need saving. Could you leave me alone? If you see me crying.
Let's listen to a bit of the hook.
You hold me close, tell me that you can read my mind.
Now, I obviously have reverb and delay on this. This is with that.
You hold me close, tell me that.
Now, this is the vocal, so let's listen to it without any kind of EQ or processing from the Empirical Labs plugins.
You hold me close, tell me that you can read my mind.
Sounds pretty good. So let's first open the Empirical Labs Lil FrEQ EQ. Now, very intuitive plugin. If you go right here, you can change it to do a high shelf or a low shelf right here. Also, you have your input gain right here. You have your high pass. You can change that right here. Then you have the de-essing. You can change it to a limiter. Then you have the overall output, and here you have the EQ. Now this is resizable, which is great. Now let's also look at the compressor really quickly. There's drive right here, also which mode you want, the ratio, attack, release, external sidechain, and then you also have the preamp gain. Now this is where the magic happens of the saturation. You have the high pass, you have the phase invert right here, and then you have the mix knob. So as you can see, I already have used the mix knob on this to kind of really push the vocal and then blend it in to do some kind of a parallel compression. So let me do this. I'm gonna bypass all the other processing, play the vocal really quickly, and then just engage this EQ first.
You hold me close, tell me that you can read my mind.
Pretty cool. I'm gonna engage the de-esser at the end, and then let's enable this EQ.
You hold me close, tell me that you can read my mind.
Without.
You hold me close, tell me that you can.
It brings the vocal forward, and it's not necessarily the voice as well, because you can hear texture, you can hear transients in the vocal.
You hold me close, tell me that you can read my mind.
When you push it up, you can really hear that saturation happening. It's pretty cool. I don't like using the saturation here. I actually prefer using it in the compressor because you can really dial it very high and then just mix it to taste. So right now the EQ is on, so let's listen to that, and I'm going to engage the compressor.
You hold me close, tell me that you can read my mind. How do you get to know how I feel inside?
And this is both without.
You hold me close, tell me that you can read my mind. How do you get to know how I feel inside?
Very, very compressed vocal. And then you can see that I'm blending this in with the dry and the wet signal pretty much at 20%. So most of my signal is dry, and then I have a little bit of wet signal coming in. So here, let me kind of push this all the way up and then bring it in.
You hold me close, tell me that you can read my mind. How do you get to know how I feel inside? You hold me close, tell me that you can read my mind.
So that really makes all the difference. Again, let's play the track with all the effects, and then I'm going to enable everything, all the other processing I've done, and then let me disable these two and then enable them halfway through.
You hold me close, tell me that you can read my mind. How do you
This is doing some amazing magic. Let me actually take the guitar solo that I have right here, and I'm actually gonna try to apply a little bit of that here on the guitars and see how it sounds. All right, I'm gonna put it right here. Wow, I wish I had this plugin when I mixed that track. Let's look at some presets to see what they have. Wow, that is phenomenal. Let's hear this guitar solo in the context of the mix with and without. Those were two plugins from Softube that mimic the Empirical Labs EQ and Compressor. You can see that it made a huge difference in the way the vocals were sitting, and I can see myself using this on drums and guitars and any other tracks. I can really see where this would fit it onto like a master bus, and you just put the dry wet knob just a little bit to introduce that saturation and that vintage vibe to it, and it can really change how the track would sound overall. And these plugins are also console one ready, so if you need a way to control them via hardware, that's an option that's available as well. These plugins are currently on sale on Plugin Boutique for $349. Normally, each plugin will cost you $250. So if you're in for that, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Go and buy the plugin. It also helps the channel out when you use those links to buy the plugins. Also, Ableton 11 is out, so if you guys want to see some videos on that, I really like the comping feature. Leave a comment below if that's something you guys are interested in, or anything else, make sure you leave a comment below. Any questions, ask away in the comments, and until then, make some dope music. Make sure you don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you at the next one.